Hello, good evening and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda. It's time to do a little bit more on the polytunnel. So I'm going to do another hour and a half. I've got an hour and a half that I can spend this morning before I've got to go off and do some more work elsewhere, some paid work. So yeah, we'll get cracking. See you in a bit. I was going to say, do you like the new haircut, by the way? Me and the boys went and got shorn yesterday at the barber's, and yeah, it's alright, isn't it? Not too bad. Tintin. Hergé's Adventures of Tintin. Right. So, yesterday we got the first corner in, ensuring it was all level across the length and the girth. Now, because we've only used the 6-foot decking boards, because that's what we could get into the car, I've had to piece them together in the middle there. So what I did was I fixed I measured along using that straight edge and saw where it fell. So we were keeping it straight, saw where it fell there. That means that from there, that edge there that was bolted double, we used that as our flat, straight, level, and then came across with that and marked on there where the top of the board needed to go, and then I fixed that then with a bolt through, and then I've met it up to the next bit to the join. So I put that joining piece on to the bolted length, and then met that up so that it continues on, and essentially we've got one long straight board now, and as you can see there, it's level. Okay. So now we know that that's level and the slope end is level. We did say yesterday we'd have a gap, and we will, but when I redistribute all this soil from inside here, that'll be filled, so the gap won't be seen from the inside. And then when we put the paving slabs or whatever we're going to use on the outside of it to level it off, that'll disappear, that gap. But we know it's level, so we've got that level, that level. We just need to level up this end now, and then the front. Now I'm going to be using the long piece of the front, just to make sure that it's all completely straight and square. And then I'll have to cut a section out from the middle then to create the doorway that's coming off from that top plate. That's called a top plate. And that will be the top or the header of the door, and then the actual doorway itself will come in the same way as that, really. The actual size of the door will come down off from that in the end. But as long as we know we're level and straight going all the way around, we should be fine to marry up with the base plates. As I say, we're going to have to piece that as well as we go around. But yeah, it's looking alright so far. Okay, so all four sides are now in, and it's all level. Making sure as we go around that it is level. Of course, as I said, we have to piece them, so that's level, and it's level all the way around. Because of the gentle slope, there is a gentle slope, so that path isn't exactly flat. You can tell that, you can actually look at it and see that. It does look like it's a bit lower on that side, but it isn't. It's just that the path is a bit higher. But that is level, that's spot on level, that, all the way around. I'm going to put the staves in now to secure it further. So that's the next step, using the 2x1. I'm going to cut that into, I think we'll do about 8. No, I need more than that. They only need to be about a foot long or 30 centimetres long. But we're going to be hammering staves in and then fixing the boards to the staves, just to give it that extra bit of ground support and stability. And it's going to save on a couple of bolts as well, because if I stave it, I'll not need the bolts. Or will I? Yeah, I will. I'll put a couple of bolts in just for measure, for good measure. but that'll straighten and stave. Straighten and stave, shut up. It'll make it stronger and more sturdy and stable, which is what we want. So there's our stave, all ready for Count Dracula. Stave, stake, whatever you want to call it. It's just cut to a point, and that's going to be driven then, like I've done over there, into the ground. I mean, that's over a foot long, something like that, but that gets driven into the ground, and it's just acting then as a ground anchor for your base, so your base doesn't shift. We've got the bolts there in places there, but that'll just keep it in place, keep it stable, until we can build off from that and build off whatever we want to from that. So that's going to go into there, be hammered in with a lump hammer, and then we screw the boards. Give it a double fix if you can see that. We screw them to it. It's gone through there, that side like that. And it's just, as I say, it's all stability. It's supporting the base and keeping it at the same level, keeping it sturdy. The more staves you get in, the more stable and sturdy it'll become. But I'm going to be putting probably about 8 in. So I'll crack on with that and I'll come back to you. Alright. Okay, so all the way around it's all been staved in. I put a few staves in. In fact, I've got one to put in there. I'm going to put a last one in there. But as I say, that will give more stability, strength to the base. And what we've done as well is we've run off and created the doorway there into well, from Tiki Tunnel 2. So what I did for that was I measured the centre point. So that board was 240 centimetres or 2,400 millimetres, whichever way you want to play it. Found the centre point, and then from there got one of these long lengths and ran it up, and then at the side of those 2x1s I measured it, I checked it for level, and then when I check that for level, then I know that is going to be central at the top and at the bottom, and then from there, because we want a 26-inch opening, I measured 13 inches that way and put a mark, 13 inches that way and put a mark, hammered another couple of staves in and secured it to that, and then I could run these off. Now I've packed it behind because it sticks out. If I didn't pack it behind, this will be too far forward that way and it wouldn't be straight. As it stands now, it meets up with that back plate, the header, meets up nicely. I did the same at the top, by the way, so it's 13 inches that way and 13 inches that way. But I also checked with the spirit level. Watch it be out now. I also checked with the spirit level. It's right. So it runs straight and true. Yeah. Oh, I'm hitting the nail. There's a nail. The nail sticking out. Can you see? I'll have to chop that off in some description because it's not coming out. Anyway. Yeah. So we know that is plumb and level. Only trouble with this is because this trampoline frame polytunnel is lower than Tiki Tunnel 1. We've got a bit of a problem. When we get the sheeting has to come over and be fixed to something. So I'm going to have to lower this door a little bit. Now, with lowering that door, I will have to lower the foundation as well. So my next step is I'm going to cut those out, cut this bit of timber out. Now it's fixed in. I'll cut that out, and then I'll have to lower the ground level by about 3 inches, so we're not constantly banging our heads. That's going to have to go down by a couple of inches so that we've got something to fix to with the sheeting. that's going to be built out as well. So that's the framework in, the basic door framework's in, but it's also going to be built out with more 2x1 so that it stands a bit further forwards that way, and it'll land on these then. Yeah, so that'll be further forward. Then when the sheeting comes, we need something to fix to. We need about 3 or 4 inches to fix to with the sheeting. I hope that makes sense. It's as clear as mud to me. I'll clean these up as well because they're all muddy. But yeah, so that's where we're up to, boys and girls. Alright, so that's cut out. And the gap at the bottom is 26 inches. And the gap at the top is 26 inches. And it's 26 inches in the middle. It's spot on, that. Which is good, isn't it? Now the pathway is going to go down the centre there. So as I'm laying the flags in, when I get to that stage, I'll just be following the line. I'll draw string lines down either side. That's 26 inches. The flags are only just over 23 inches because they're metric. But we'll sort something out. There'll be a little gap either side going down there, which can be filled with gravel. Coarse sand first, of course, for the bed, like we did with these. And then I'll fill any gaps with gravel. But the beds are going to be running off from here. So the beds will be starting over there and going there, and then all the way down. So that'll be that'll be part of the next stage, is to get that dug down a bit. I'm going to be going down there, so I'm probably going to be going down about 1 inch below the level that it is there, but taking it all the way across. When I say inch, I mean inch and then allowing for the depth of the flag. So we're going to be going down about 3.5 inches altogether, all the way across there, taking all that middle section out, probably chucking it to the sides and filling the gaps. And that's where the flags are going to go. The paving's going to go down the centre. We'll have a central path going down. What I may do, I'm just deciding what I'm going to do actually, really, at the moment, is have another bed. So it's like a U-shaped growing area. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the bed will start here. We'll have a bed going this way, and then the 2 long beds going down, and just a central path going up the middle. A little bit like that, really, but without the cutaway bits. Just long beds going down. Get more growing space in there. Yeah, I think I'll do that actually, and then have like a small 2 foot by 2 foot potting up area or something down at the bottom end, and a shelf going across, you know, for starting your little plants off. But have most of the ground dedicated to the growing. I think that might be the smart man's idea, really. But they are going to be built up. So at the moment it's 6 inches deep. Once it's all levelled, I'm going to put the weed membrane down on it, 2 layers of the weed membrane down on it, and then I'm going to build up on the insides and get the beds to be about 1 foot deep instead of 6 inches. So it's another layer of them, basically. Of course, on the outsides as well, we're going to be filling these gaps, because I've got to come out then with the wood to here. So again, we've got something to sort of fix to or whatever. Although, as I said before, I might be putting 2 foot by 4 foot clear polycarbonate in there. In fact, that's what I am going to do, so I don't really need to particularly mess about too much on that. I can save a couple of pounds, which is always good, isn't it? But these bases, these beds are going to be built up. They're going to be 12 inches high, between 10 and 12 inches high, those. Yeah, so we've got enough growing medium for the plants, plenty of growing medium for the plants. Okay, let's crack it. So we know that these door sides, these frame sides are plumb, and I'm checking on both sides. I'm checking on the reverse as well. Look at that, beautiful. So that's nice and straight and plumb. The camera works rubbish, but the actual framing's good. I'm going to bring that out now, so I need to get more depth to that door frame. So I've got some more 2x1, and I've marked on there where it needs to be cut so that this will slot into that. Okay, and yeah, that's what we're on with next. So I'm going to do that on both sides, and building it out then to create a more sturdy door frame, if you want, because you need a bit of depth there for when you put your door in, so you've got something to work with, basically, so you can open and shut the door, and you need that depth for your hinges. All right, okay. I hope you can see what I mean there. I've brought that out, bringing it forward and filling that gap so that when we put the sheeting over the top, we can staple to that. I've also put that in, which is an offcut from these baseboards. I've put that in and attached it. I sent screws through there into it, and then also put this on the back, and using like I say, using the longer screws. These are 2 3/4 inch screws. This is a 2 inch 2x1 timber, and that's fixed into there on both sides, and then this plate at the front has just been screwed through and affixed onto that. Now that's obviously lowered the door height. Now I can still get under there without banging my head, and as I say, I am going to be dropping the level of the floor inside here, but that's just all we've had to do that because we need to have that plate to staple to when the sheeting comes. There'll also be, like there is here, there's these sort of angled timbers that go down from here, and we'll be doing the same thing on this one, so we'll be angling them down, so again we can pull the sheeting tight and staple to it. If you don't do that, you're knackered. It's a pity you can't get any thick curved wood or something like that that'll go on the inside of them, but you can't. So they're always like that, generally speaking, with these polytunnels. They're always of that sort of a configuration where you've got something to sheet to staple to. You need it. So you've got to bear that in mind. Like I say, we'll be getting the angled pieces coming down off that, and they'll be coming down at a sort of a sharper angle, something like that, because we're going to be putting the sort of mid-level woods in. It's going to be at about that height, so it's going to be about 2'6" high, or whatever that is in metric, 80 centimetres or so high. That's where that's going to go around. So the timbers are going to go around because, as I said before, we're going to be putting gutters on the outside of this as well to catch the rainfall as it comes from the sheeted roof into the gutters, and then we're going to be capturing that in our butts, in our water butts. Okay, boys and girls. Looking good, isn't it? Looking alright. I just thought I'll give you a quick recap. Hours spent so far is just over 4 hours. Money spent so far is £39.42p. And that's for the timber that we've used, the screws. In fact, I've got screws left and I've got some bolts left. But yeah, that's the bolts, the nuts, the screws and the timber. So yeah, less than 40 quid so far spent. The trampoline frames were free. So yeah, that's where we're up to, cost wise and time wise. So yeah, just over 4 hours. Catch you later on, boys and girls. Take care. Bye. Alright, so I've just put all the tools away. I'm just locking everything up now and getting away, and it's just on an hour and a half. So yeah, I'll be at my paid job shortly. Got about 6 hours worth of work to do there, and Bob's your uncle. I'm going to be on tomorrow as well because I've nothing on tomorrow, so I'm going to be on tomorrow and I'll get some more timbers and do a little bit more on it, boys and girls. And yeah, happy days. There it is behind me up at the top, up there. Alright, catch you later on. Love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other, and keep growing with your head down, and keep building with your head down as well. These winter jobs, save yourself some money, get cracking. Hope you're enjoying it. If you are, give us a comment, a like and a subscribe. people have been asking how we can how they can help out to spread the channel. Now, I think the best way of doing that is to share it on social media. So if you're on Facebook and Twitter and all of that, I don't know how it works, me, because I don't really do it myself. I am on Facebook, but I don't go on it very often. But yeah, if you could do that, if you could share it with your friends and family and all of that kind of thing, it helps us out, helps us grow, helps the growing revolution, and yeah, tickles me pickle for me. So I'll see you all later. Bye bye now, boys and girls. Have a great week. Ta-da.